let's talk about Ryan Garcia. Bill Haney and him got into it. Said Ryan looking kind of small. No Diddy, no Harvey Weinstein, no Kevin Spacey, no Kanye, no Ryan. And there's some pictures starting to go up there that's showing the difference between Ryan physique in his last fight and right now. And the difference is, in that first picture they showed during one of his other fights, he was able to rehydrate. At this point, he cutting weight. And when he rehydrate, I think you will be able to get a bigger picture of, come fight night, how does the physique look? And but he does look flat. You would think he would have been training, and probably bulking a little bit, and then you just cut it down so you can maintain that frame. But people starting to say, well, I see a difference in Ryan Garcia. And plus, he for this fight, it's a 7-pound difference. Even though in reality, it's a 3-pound difference because he missed the weight last time. So, people gonna talk. The performance can shut everybody up, but really, what is the performance? You fighting a chinny Rolly. You fighting a Rolly that, in reality, I agree with Joe Abib. He 3-3 in his last 6. He lost to Paw, he lost to Cruz, he lost to Tank, and he won a couple fights in there. Obviously the Barroso fight, Paw, that he shouldn't have won. The last guy he fought, and there was another guy that he fought that he won. So in reality, he's 3-3 in his last fight. He 500. So it's gonna be tough to tell in this particular fight. But you can make the case that he's fighting the weakest opponent on the card. Ramirez is better than Rolly. Barboza Tio better than Rolly. So it's no shock to me if the physique is different, if the performance might be a quick fight. So it's going to be hard to say where's the conditioning at, where's the speed at, and then if Rolly take the punches, the thing is going to be, the left hook power not the same, but you also got to remember, Rolly said he was drained at 35, drained at 40. And this is in the defense of Ryan Garcia, to be objective. Rolly get to pack on extra weight so he could be able to take a punch a lot better. But if the physique is clearly different, and the performance, how he's performing, is different. People gonna have questions. But I told you I wasn't new. I told Bill about 4-5 years, ago that he was cheating. It was word on the street. Everybody knew in the sport of boxing he was a fucking drug cheat. That wasn't nothing. That was no mystery. It wasn't that this is something that he first started doing. It's like, if you catch somebody doing something they weren't supposed to, 9 times out of 10, it ain't the first time that they was caught doing what they was doing. So the physique, yeah. When you start talking about, taking pills and all that type of stuff, a lot of it is due to recovery, and with recovery you get stronger muscle growth. So when you're working out, all you're doing is tearing down your muscle. That's all you're doing, is tearing down your muscle. That's legitimately all you're doing, is tearing down your muscle. That's all you're doing. So you tear down, and everything, the recovery, the food, the supplements, the pads that you put in your body helps your recovery to have, to recover and make the muscle stronger. Performance enhancing drugs a lot of times allow you to recover fast and be able to get back into the gym and tear that muscle down faster and rebuild it even more. It's the recovery period. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, if I'm able to train harder and recover faster and train as hard and I can recover as fast, of course my muscles is going to be, my muscles and my body is from round to round, they going to be able to go there. So that 1 minute in a corner that we get between rounds, for me, that's going to feel about 3, 4, 5 minutes. It's gonna be about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes in my world. The other fighter that don't have that capability, that's gonna feel like a minute. So people got to understand. Y'all be thinking performance enhancing drugs is it's a difference. You'll see a difference in the physique, and when you take them for so long, even when you cycle on and off of them for an extended period of time, the body looks for that drug. When it starts to rely on it, that's why you're supposed to cycle on and off stuff. So they say, well, okay, you take this supplement and you don't stop taking it. Of course, some situations it can hurt your kidneys, hurt your liver. In some of those situations, it can hurt you. It can make you sick. You know what I'm saying? You can really see bodybuilders all shriveled up and shit. So that's why you cycle on and off of the stuff, because your body won't become over-reliant on it. This is why they switch the drugs up. This is why they cycle off of it. But in general, once you've been cycling on and off stuff for so long, your body, especially for competition, your body looks for it. And when your body can't find that drug or find that supplement in your system, a lot of times it starts to burn. It starts to either gain more weight, or it starts to burn the important parts of the body. It starts to burn the muscle. It started to look for that, and it started taking away from the muscle. So you start getting frailer and frailer and frailer and smaller, because you don't have that drug to rely on no more. So you no longer have that drug to rely on. So when you don't no longer have that drug to rely on no more, it's tough. So now, to be honest, you really just got to train harder. And it's definitely a difference. Look at, a guy like Arnold in competition and out of competition. He don't look bad out of competition. But it don't look like he in competition either. And that's where you get a lot of these bodybuilders, man. They don't get off the shit. It becomes an addiction. The drug itself and the physique becomes an addiction. So it's a difference between bodybuilders today and of the golden era, the Arnolds and the, guys like that. A lot of the difference is that, when we start talking about from what I'm not hardcore into it, but when I read and I research, one of the biggest differences is a lot of those guys that's today, they don't get off the drug. They stay on the drug. They don't cycle off of the drug when they're out of competition, which leads to a lot of deaths, a lot of body ailments and getting you ill. You see a lot of these dudes get frail. They look sick as fuck because they stayed on it. You cycle on, you cycle off. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, those bodybuilders had an off season. They still do. Where they just want, I'm off the drug, I already competed, cool. These motherfuckers don't stop. And then the other biggest difference I heard, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger, it was somebody, it might have been Schwarzenegger or somebody else. A lot of these bodybuilders, and I see this at the gym a lot of these bodybuilders tend to favor, machines over free weights. Let me tell you this. There's no supplements for free weights. There's no supplement for free weights. When you're dealing with machines are for control. So it's for accuracy, it's for control, it's to make sure your form is great. But if you're just you're trying to build strength or whatever you're trying to do, strength or physique for bodybuilding, and you using a machine, you're not gonna reach your full potential. I feel like, and this may be a difference, and some people may feel different. Obviously, today's bodybuilders feel different. I think it was my bad. It was Ronnie Coleman that was talking to Shannon Sharp about it, and to remember. And today, most people favor the machine. Most bodybuilders. I see a lot of kids. It's a totally different thing when you have to control the weight yourself. That's real strength. When you have to control the weight yourself. That should be the foundation of your workout, in my opinion. Free as a man, even as some women, it don't have to be heavy. But if you can't control the weight, on your own, you ain't gonna really be able to run with the gorilla, especially without the performance enhancing drugs. So, but today's bodybuilders, they favor the Smith machine and the hammer machines. And I look here, man. To be real with you, my workout, that's just assist my workout. You know, that's just assist. Like it, I know, you do the lat pull downs and stuff of that nature. Yeah, that's just assist my workout. You know, but for the most part, the foundation of my workout is barbells, dumbbells, calisthenics, pull-ups, dips, you know, whatever you want to call them, chin-ups. I don't even touch a Smith machine. It's free weight squat, free weight deadlift. You know what I'm saying? Lunges dead. If I choose to do lunges, I'm clumsy. But stuff like that. Stuff that I can control. I don't need assisted. If I use assisted, it's really just to make sure my form is on point. So, you know, other than like rows and, you know, cable, I think cables are fantastic. You know, leg raises, leg curls, stuff like that, leg presses, hack squats. Yeah, they're great things to do. I remember an old nigga told me one day, so all you need is these squats and these deadlifts. When you come to leg, he wasn't lying. But that's all I had to say, man. Just wanted to spit that real quick. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is my bell. It's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. We go live. We're gonna drop video financially. Want to support the channel? Cash App $CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link description. Peace.